In this presentation, I conducted research on the ancient Spartans and their dietary practices. The ancient Spartans are known to be elite warriors with strict discipline and military training. The boys would enter the Doge at age 7, which was a state-run boot camp for soldiers. The society was centered on warfare, unity, and strength. They had minimalistic lifestyles, just focusing on strength and simplicity. Those were their core values. And women had more rights compared to other Greek city-states. The Spartans were fierce warriors from the ancient Greek city-state of Sparta, located in the southeastern Peloponnese Peninsula. Surrounded by rugged mountains and fertile valleys, Sparta was isolated from much of mainland Greece, which helped shape its tough, disciplined society. Unlike the artistic Athenians, Spartans prioritized military strength, loyalty, and simplicity. Their entire culture revolved around creating strong soldiers to defend their homeland, Laconia. This harsh but organized way of life made Sparta one of the most feared powers in ancient Greece. Boys began military training at age 7 and were removed from their families. They lived in military-style barracks with other boys. They were taught to endure pain, hunger, cold, and fear without complaint. Their training included combat skills, wrestling, running, and stealth, and they were encouraged to steal food to learn survival. But if they were caught, they were punished. Reading and writing were minimal, discipline and obedience were key, public beatings and tests of endurance were routine. At age 20, men joined the army, and then around age 30, they became full citizens. The Spartan diet was based mostly on natural, locally grown food. Much of it was cultivated by the Helots, who were enslaved laborers working the land. Spartan society was highly self-sufficient, especially when it came to food production. Their meals commonly included a variety of meats, barley, and fish. They also regularly consumed honey, milk, cheese, figs, and wine as dietary staples. Even though their diet was relatively simple, fresh fruits thrived in the warm Greek climate and added some variety. Spartans had their own distinct eating customs that set them apart from other Greek city-states. Before they fully integrated with broader Greek culture, they had their own language and traditions. Unlike the rest of ancient Greece, where it was common to eat 4 meals a day, Spartans typically only ate 2. All male citizens ate together in military-style mess halls, reinforcing their focus on discipline and unity. Barley was the basis of the diet of the ancient Spartans. As it was already abundant in the area, Spartans chose to eat barley instead of wheat. It was seen as the food of slaves and peasants. The Spartans seem to have known how important carbohydrates are as a main source of energy for the body. Unlike wheat, barley contains both forms of fiber. Soluble fiber dissolves in water to form something like a jelly, which helps lower cholesterol and controls blood sugar. And then there's insoluble fiber, which increases movement in the gastrointestinal tract and is especially beneficial for people who suffer from constipation. Barley is also a good source of tocotrienols, substances that have antioxidant properties and the ability to lower bad cholesterol by limiting the activity of an enzyme in the liver responsible for producing cholesterol. Barley is also a source of beta-glucan, a type of carbohydrate that also controls blood sugar and cholesterol levels. Then they ate the legendary Spartan black broth, or black soup, and is thought to have been a staple food for the Spartan community, although certain historical information points that it was not a common dish. Either way, it's one of the most well-known Spartan dishes. It was a type of soup that took some getting used to because of the taste. Basically, they cooked pork with blood and salt and accompanied it with barley bread. They believed it gave them strength. They were probably right. And then the pork is an excellent source of protein with high biological value, meaning it just contains all the necessary amino acids, but it is also one of the best sources of B vitamins, which plays a role in releasing energy from carbohydrates. Unlike many other Greeks, Spartans rarely ate domesticated meats like lamb, goat, or beef. Instead, they preferred wild game, which was considered more nutritious and required them to actively hunt. Hunting wasn't just about getting food, it was also a form of physical training. Warriors would go into the mountains to hunt, building strength, survival skills, and self-reliance. Wild game provided lean protein, which helped support muscle repair and endurance, which is essential for a society built on constant physical activity. The act of hunting itself reinforced the values Spartans lived by. Another key part of their diet was olives, which held major significance not only in nutrition but also in the economy of ancient Greece. Olives were a rich source of healthy fats, particularly fatty acids, and they provided essential fiber and minerals that support digestion and overall body function. Olives are also high in vitamin E, which is a powerful natural antioxidant. Wine was popular in ancient Sparta, liked but never to be overindulged in. The Spartans would drink wine with or after most meals, although they typically watered the wine down because, as we mentioned before, being drunk in Sparta was not considered appropriate. The Spartans considered drunkenness a sin of sorts. They believed it had negative effects on not only the mind but also the body, and of course their warrior nature could be compromised by its effect. They also drank Greek mountain tea, a herb that is very powerful, anti-inflammatory, and immune-boosting. They drank it religiously and said to use it for recovery, especially after fighting in wars. Alright, let's take a look at what modern nutrition can learn from the ancient Spartans. First, simplicity works. Whole, unprocessed foods were a staple of the Spartan diet, and today we know they fuel high performance. Spartans practiced discipline in eating, which helped build long-term health and resilience. They drank alcohol in moderation, which promoted clear thinking and better recovery, something athletes still aim for today. Barley and other complex carbs were essential for energy, just as they are for endurance and stamina now. Spartans also valued protein from pork and legumes, which supported muscle repair and strength. And then functional foods like Greek mountain tea were used for natural healing and recovery. And then most importantly, they ate with intention, not just for pleasure, but for purpose. And this helped build mindful habits. So in many ways, the Spartan approach aligns with today's trends in clean eating, performance-focused diets, and gut health. Thank you for watching. I hope this gave you a new perspective on how ancient Spartan habits still hold powerful lessons for modern health and performance. Thank you.